Hello, I'm tntulak, and welcome to Filmmakering Like a Boss. Now, I don't claim to be an expert, but I am an award-winning filmmaker, and I have a passion for filmmaking, which is really all you need to get started. Now, if you're following along, you may have noticed that in the last two episodes, the quality of the audio was, for lack of a better word, poopy. Now, I am using a shotgun condenser microphone on a short stand. Can you hear me? Hello. And a separate from the camera audio recording device, which means I'm recording separate audio. The audio from that mic is being recorded on this. The reason for this, I will talk about in another video. Sound is very complicated and is a whole series of videos unto itself. Most professional cameras do not have a built-in onboard microphone. In fact, most don't even have microphone inputs. Recording separate audio in this way is basically the way the professionals do it. That way they can have an entire, crew worried about just the audio and another crew worried about just the video, and it's a whole thing. But that's the way it's usually done. Now, in the last two episodes, I had all of this stuff up and running. I had everything working. The recording device was on and recording, and everything was good to go, except I forgot to turn on the microphone, which means in post, I had a big audio clip with no audio on it. Now, the camera that I'm using, the Canon T3i, does have a built-in onboard microphone, but it's not the greatest quality. It's located on the back of the camera, meaning that if I'm sitting in front of it, it's actually picking up the sound of my voice bouncing off of the wall behind it, because it's like open to the whole room, so it's picking up the whole room. It also picks up everything else in the room, including, if you remember, the fan noise was happening. That's frustrating. This mic that I'm using here, this mic here, is a very directional mic, which means I can point it at my face and you'll hear me. But if I point it over here, guess what? You're not going to hear me quite so well anymore. Under any other circumstances, I would have trashed that footage and reshot the whole thing. It was usable in the sense that you can hear what I'm saying, but it wasn't usable in the sense that, well, it sounded poopy, and nothing screams amateur like poopy sound. But since this is a show about filmmakering, I decided to go ahead and use the footage anyways because it illustrates two very important points. First, be prepared for setbacks. You can plan everything and be 100% ready to go, but inevitably, there will always be something that stands in the way and sets you back, or some kind of hurdle that you have to get over to accomplish your project. Always. But what matters is how you react to those setbacks. Don't get discouraged and don't get frustrated. It happens to everyone. Just work through it the best that you can. And that's all you can do. The only true failure is when you quit. Until you quit, you haven't failed. The other point that it illustrates is how important quality sound is. As important as cinematography is, the audience is more likely to forgive poor cinematography than it is to forgive poor audio quality. You can have a film where the cinematography is terrible and looks like it was poorly shot by an amateur, but if the audio is crisp and clear and of good quality, the audience is a lot more willing to accept it. That does not work in the reverse. And if you have seen the last two episodes of Filmmakering Like a Boss, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because of the poor audio quality, it felt very amateur, didn't it? It was kind of hard to watch, wasn't it? I know, I understand. I had to watch it too. I had to edit it. So I know, I feel your pain. There's an entire subgenre of movies called found footage that banks off of this very concept. Films like The Blair Witch Project, Chronicles, Cloverfield, these were made to look like some random person shot it with some random video camera with little to no regard to cinematography and shot composition. But because the audio quality is crisp and clear, the audience accepts it. The Blair Witch Project was a cultural phenomenon. But if you have ever actually recorded with a video camera, then you know that the sound quality of the onboard built-in microphones does not sound like that. Now, sound design is a whole other topic that we will get to eventually, but I just can't give it all away in one video. So, hit that subscribe button so you can follow along on the next episode of Filmmakering Like a Boss. Here at the end screen, I would like to invite you to watch some of my filmmakering in action by clicking on one of these links over here. And I would like to invite you to visit this link down here and go to our GoFundMe page for 48 Film Project 2016. We go into production middle of next week, so this is your last chance to support us in this production. And if you can't afford to donate any money, that's totally fine. You can still help us out by sharing the campaign page or even sharing episodes of this show, because, I talk about it here and it would help us out a lot. So cool, man. Yeah, thanks for even thinking about it. Thank you for watching The Easily Amused Group, the show that discovered the secrets of the fire swamp and doesn't believe that rodents of unusual size actually exist.